you've driven on the expressway before, and if it's like during rush hour, you'll notice that the traffic slows down. It slows down to where it's a crawl. It slows down to where it actually stops. And what I'm wondering is, if the traffic stops, why? Because there's no stoplights, no stop signs, but yet it stops. 3 lanes, but no stops, and yet everybody stops. Why is that? You ask somebody, the first thing they'll say is, because the person in front of me stops. Yes? Okay, and if you ask them, they'll say, because the person in front of me stopped. If you ask the person in front of them, because the person in front of me stopped. Well, stands to reason at some point, there's got to be somebody at the front of the line who decided just to stop. I'd like to know why. And is there any good reason for it? Especially if there's no stoplights and no stop signs. You would say, oh, because it's like a fluid going through a pipe. It's just got to be so much that it can only fit so many cars per hour. But when the traffic stops, the cars per hour for that area becomes 0. Shouldn't it be at some great number? So that's why I wonder why it stops in a traffic jam. Which leads me to the next step of saying, well, okay, water in a hose. Water pushes through the hose. Is there a point where you would push so much water through the hose that it would slow down and eventually stop? Why? Because the water molecule in front of it just stopped. Because the one in front of that one just stopped. Because there's just so much water in the hose. Does that really ever happen? Does water in a hose or a pipe just stop because there's too much? Now, take it one step more extreme. Light in a fiber optic. Is it possible that light in a fiber optic or in a laser could get so dense of photons that they would get into a traffic jam? Those photons at that point would just stop. Why? Because the photon in front of it just stopped. And the photon in front of that one just stopped. That makes me wonder, at that point, is the speed of light 0? And what does that mean? And does that have anything to do with time and space and quantum and all that stuff? Why would or could we make photons stop using traffic jam technology developed here on Earth? We could take a photon and trap it in a traffic jam and study it up close when it can't move anywhere. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just food for thought. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.